Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today, we're going to focus on just one song, and I wanted to thank Eric. Thank you so much, Eric from Queens, for submitting this request. And we're going to listen to some, I've never heard of this band, and I got it right here. We're talking about MAXOPHONE. And MAXOPHONE, I'm going to pull them up in a minute, but it looks like they're from Italy. We're going to listen to the song Phase. So I really don't know what we're getting into, but real quickly, I'll read the email that Eric provided me with. Got it right here. I just had it pulled up, and then for some reason, I closed the window. It says here just, hey Nick, here's the link to my latest request. Really short and sweet, no information provided, so that's the way I'm going to take it. I'm not going to look anything up, but once I get into the music, I'm going to look up the band and talk about it. So I'm looking here at the album. It looks like there's only one album on, oh wait a minute, MAXOPHONE. Let's see, discography, albums, show all. So we have 4 on Spotify. And it looks like they're newer, but sometimes Spotify gets that wrong. I'll look into it once we're done with the song. Let's just go into it. Eric, thank you so much again. Meeting you was really amazing. Really quickly, if you don't know the story, we met at the airport in Munich with Alexia, and he just said, hey guys, NicknLex, I like your Steely Dan reactions, and that was it. We were out of our lives again. But isn't that so cool that we met in my hometown of Germany, and he's also there very regularly, which is super cool. So, and now we're here, on the channel, sending us music and reactions, and I think it's wonderful. So here we go with this reaction of MAXOPHONE. So I have no idea what I'm getting into. A song called Fase, 7 minutes, but I'll pull it up once we get started. So here we go. Again, if you're a fan of the channel, thank you so much for giving us a chance to be in your living rooms or on your desktops, on your phones, and for listening to us, for letting us entertain you. It's really a pleasure. So here we go with Phase. Check it out. Sounds expect that. That reminds me of gong. So good. Crazy stuff. I'm loving it. This is the type of music that I literally like seek out on, like, when I don't have anything to do. This reminds me of so many good things. I just literally, while I was listening, I had to write to Eric, and I sent him a link of something that this was not a request. I wanted to share this with you guys, and this is a gong marathon. But this is specifically from the album called Album Time. Time is Key from 1979 by Pierre Morling's Gong. Not to be confused with the other gong. There's another gong, which but this whole thing, it sounds very 70s. I haven't looked. There was such interesting music on display here, from just everything. Like, everyone is going full cylinders. This reminds me a lot of Well, of course, gong, because of the, that instrument, what is it called? I'm just gonna go look up the band now, and they're clearly from Italy because I see titles in Italian. Cono di gelato and stuff like that. So let's check it out. So, and then I'm gonna get into the instruments. MAXOPHONE. Here we go. Rock band. And okay, so from Milan, Italy, 1973. So yeah, when they said here on Spotify 2009, I was like, nah, I don't think so. They released a self-titled album in 1975, which is, I think, this one. And on Prog Archives. But let's check out here progressive rock from Milan, Italy. Let's see. The one that I listen to right now was from 1975. That's the first one. And give me a second. Yeah, Phase. And oh, it's clickable. Thank you. Thank God. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of information. That instrument that I'm talking about, let's look it up here real quick because I'm having like a brain like fart. But you will know exactly what I'm talking about in a second. Here, I'm looking up the same band. Okay, and they have a very heavy use of. Wow, there's so many musicians on this that were in this band. Give me a second. Here are the instruments all the way at the end. Well, it's called it's a drum, but it's a drum. Well, it doesn't really matter. I'll put it in the description. I just can't find what I'm looking for, that instrument, but just by it's not the drums, it's a drum, like almost like a steel drum. I think that's the right word, but I could be wrong. This reminded me, obviously, this is a fine line between progressive rock and like jazz fusion. Everything that was happening, all the instruments that were involved, it was just like, wow, what is going on? And unfortunately, there's not a lot of information. It says here, it is an Italian progressive rock band formed in Milan 1973. They released one self-titled album in 1975. The group was one of the few rock artists signed by the Produttori Associati record label, which focused mostly on film soundtracks and jazz. MAXOPHONE have since acquired a minor cult following that has endured for over 3 decades, long after the short career had ended. This is so cool. Among fans of the Italian progressive rock genre, MAXOPHONE is today widely regarded as one of the top groups, along with PFM, Liorm, and Banco del Mutuo Soccorso, which we've done some reactions to. Amazing, from Italy. The group and their record label thought that they had tremendous potential for success, which is obviously, I mean, just listen to these guys. They can basically, this is the stuff like of like the bands that Holdsworth was in before he became a solo artist. UK, Gong, again, I can't stop talking about Gong. Another one, let me see. Give me a second here. Okay, he's famous for being in not King Crimson. This was a little bit more out there than King Crimson. This was a little bit more jazz fusion. I think King Crimson is a little bit more proggy. But I'm talking about, for example, Tony Williams. That's the style of Tony Williams, the jazz. He was in the band that I just sent you. It's so funny because I sent you an email while I was reacting. I had to, because I was like, I'm gonna forget. Bill Bruford comes to mind. Maybe Jean-Luc Ponty, yes. But it's like that, you know, those kind of like bands that Holdsworth was in. Jack Bruce, you know, Billy Cobham, Jack Weckerman. Well, that's more like his stuff, like as a solo artist. But I'm talking about this one band that I'm looking for. And that's basically thanks to that band, Tempest. Not them, but thanks to that band, we made the channel because we got a copyright strike, and then when I uploaded a song of that album, of that CD, and then Alexa said, why don't we do reactions to your music? And that's how this whole thing started. I'm not seeing them. He was in this band, and they're called, okay, here's UK. Maybe if I scroll down, Holdsworth with live collaborations, Tempest, Soft Machine. So it reminded me of that, Soft Machine. It reminded me of Chick Corea. It reminded me of those bands, you know, very out there. Mahavishnu Orchestra. It's just like they have this really cool, you know, almost it's prog, but it's not so prog because it's also a lot of jazz. It's like, you know, it's just like the description here. What else? It says here there were one of the only handful of such groups to have the opportunity to record an English language version of their album. So this was an instrumental. I didn't know they sang. The music of MAXOPHONE has featured typical of symphonic rock, including a high level of musical skill, shifting time signatures. That's what I wanted to talk about. The drums were insane. Just beautiful. And complex arrangements inspired by both classical music and jazz. Half the members were classically trained and the rest had years of experience in other rock bands. So it's, as you can see, it's a prog rock project, but with a lot of jazz influence and classical music. That's just when it's that fine line between, what is it? Is it prog rock? Is it jazz fusion? Is it the same, you know? I think it's almost the same genre. When you really think about it, I think progressive rock has more vocals and maybe more classical, you know, influence when it comes to scales and chords and just like, you know, pedal notes and stuff like that, which are very classical influenced and stuff. And I think jazz fusion has just more the jazz outside playing, you know, and you know, when it comes to jazz, you know, the improvisation, you know, which I think progressive rock is more like lenient to, let's play a solo that I'm going to repeat the same afterwards, whether in jazz fusion, I'm just going to improvise all the time. This was great. This was awesome. Thank you so much for, you know, getting it out here onto the channel. I hope this gets a lot of love from the community. There is a lot of fusion heads out there, a lot of prog heads subscribe to the channel, so I'm sure this is going to get some love. And the only thing is that a lot of people don't click on videos that they don't recognize. They see a cover they don't know and they're like, oh, I don't know, maybe this is not going to be as good as I think, and then they find their next greatest band. You know, that's just the thing. I've been there myself. I've just done the same mistakes, and thanks to the channel, I've been opening up to more, you know, different horizons in music. So again, thank you so much, Eric, for sending me this, for keeping it really like dark. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy, everyone, you know, else, of course. And if you want to leave a comment in the description, please do so. If you want to like the video, please, and of course subscribe. I would really be thankful for that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.